Hey, what's going on, guys? Guts here. This is a Watch Your Realms video. I appreciate you all tuning into my channel. Thank you so much. We've got some banners coming up this weekend. I didn't say they were good banners, but we do have banners. Do me a favor, just take 1 second, click that thumbs up button. I know it seems like a little thing, but it really does make a massive difference to the visibility of this video. Help me promote my channel. It would really mean a lot to me, so thank you in advance for taking a second and doing that. Without further ado, let's go check out those banners. So, yeah, I told you, they're not that great. It's kind of ironic. I think the best banners this weekend may actually be the 2x banners. The crazy Invocation of Spirits, the crazy Divine Summonings, double your chance to get any particular legendary. We do now know that all legendaries have an equal chance of dropping. You are as likely to get a hat set as you are to get a Cratch. It is a wonderful time to be playing Watch Your Realms. Let me just say that. It is great to see that, one, that they've made that change, and two, that they've been forthright with the information. So I would say, honestly, this weekend, that is probably your best bet, is pulling on the 2x, or if you are close to Mercy, then pulling on this 1+1, everybody's favorite. Get one random legendary hero upon summoning one during the event. This is a one-off offer, so you get a free legendary if you do pull one. If you are close to Mercy, this becomes much more appealing. If you're not that close to Mercy, then honestly, long-run average is that you would be just as good pulling on the 2x. So it really depends on your account. Personally, my advice to you is do not summon. So that covers the 1+1, that covers the 2x. This banner is, I don't know what to call it. It's not bait, right? Because bait has something that's desirable, right? I'm not really sure what this is. Who was like pining for Krodor and Glacius? I feel like the developers commissioned the graphic for the banner and they felt compelled to use it. I don't know what this is, honestly. Neither of these heroes is really good anywhere for the most part. Krodor is decent in the tank codex, but other than that, I don't really know where you need either of these heroes. But with that said, let's go take a look at the Awakenings. Let's talk about these heroes, talk about whether or not they might have a spot on your account. If I could pick one phrase to sum up Glacius, I would say unrealized potential. Really cool hero based around slows, freezes, and shields, gaining damage increases based on all of these different things. However, the base damage is not all that great, so you need to be able to stack damage bonus on top of damage bonus on top of damage bonus to really get the most out of this hero. And unfortunately, it's just really cumbersome to do so. It's hard to create an ideal situation where Glacius will be able to be maximized. So starting with the A1, when there are only one targets in range, increases damage by 15%. So this is going to increase your boss damage essentially with an extra 15% damage dealt to targets inflicted with freeze. The A2 is plus 300 attack. That is nice. It's not crazy, but it is nice. Again, this is base attack, so this is going to be multiplied by all of your attack bonus stats on your gear. The A3 increases the shield strength gain by 20%. When shielded, increases damage dealt by 15%. Now he already gets a damage bonus in the amount of 1% for every 1% of health shielded. This is going to give you an extra 15% damage when he's shielded, period. So this is going to kind of bump up that baseline. On top of that, it's also going to increase the shield strength. You're going to get an added bonus on top of that. So again, this is like these stacking damage bonuses. This is what this hero is all about. How many of these different things can you activate? How much damage bonus can you stack? The A4 plus 8% crit rate. This is a weaker Awakening in my opinion. Now it can be great if it does enable you to use a piece of gear that you couldn't before, because now you're not as reliant on crit rate. But at the same time, I would prefer higher potential damage myself via, say, like crit damage or penetration, something along those lines. The A5, upon receiving fatal damage for the first time, triggers Ice Barrier for 10 seconds, during which the hero cannot act or take damage. So basically, you're going to get frozen for 10 seconds when you take fatal damage. It's fatal damage prevention here. When it does expire, the hero restores 30% HP and 100% rage, and gains a shield equal to 50% of max HP for 10 seconds. So you essentially get a instant ultimate, as well as a 50% HP shield, which should give you an extra 50% damage bonus. A little bit more than that when you consider the stacking aspects of his kit. This is weak, in my opinion, if you were going to pull for him. And I do not recommend that you do. Glacius is not really meta at any place. You don't need this hero for anything. So leveraging a bunch of your resources in the pursuit of Awakenings on this hero, not a good idea in my opinion. But if you do feel compelled to do so, then I would say the A3 is very clearly the place to stop. The A5 is just not worthwhile. It's just not worthwhile. It can only be activated once per round. You need to die in order to do it. Fatal damage prevention stuff is typically good in a place like GVG, and I can tell you right now, Glacius is not a good hero in GVG. Not a good hero. seen many people try, never seen it work. So I would not do that myself. Let's go take a look at Krodor, who, in my opinion, is the more interesting of the two. Krodor, interesting hero. Damage is based on defense. He has some extra block in his kit, some stuns, former fusion. Let's go talk about his awakening. So on the A1, when gaining shields, shield strength increases by 20%. It's nice. He is a northerner. Shields are going to be part of his faction if he is used in a faction team. The A2, plus 200 defense. Again, he is a defense-based tank. I mean, I guess they all are, but his damage is based on defense. He doesn't do much damage, though, so I don't know how much this really helps. I guess theoretically it does reduce incoming damage a bit, but it's very, very minor. So I would prefer HP here on literally every tank in the game, but they did not go that way on this hero. Now, the A3 is interesting because it does buff what I think is his defining skill, which is his passive, the State of Anger skill, which does, when he is dropped below 30% HP for the first time per deployment, he will go into a frenzy, essentially, and the next 7 basic attacks will inflict stun on up to 10 enemies in range. It also applies an attack reduction. I think he is the only hero in the game that can apply an attack reduction, 20% attack reduction. Once you get him to A3, when he is in that state, he will restore an additional 50 rage per basic attack, which is nice. That's a little over a third of his rage bar, so it's very, very nice. And on top of that, the ultimate does increase his block. So this is a really, really nice awakening, in my opinion. Now, with that said, this is just not something that's worth pursuing. This does not change the way that he works in such a way that you're like, I need to pull 4 copies of this guy now to get me this skill. I don't think it's worthwhile, but it is cool. And again, it does enhance what I think does make him unique, which I do like. The A4, all damage reductions plus 8%. It's great. It's pretty standard for tanks. Essentially 8% less damage across the board. The A5, and this one is really good. The State of Anger has a cooldown of 60 seconds. Typically, that state that I was talking about before, where he does go into a frenzy and stun units and all that kind of stuff, it typically only activates once per deployment. However, this is going to give it an internal cooldown of 60 seconds, which is nice. Again, he's just not really useful anywhere aside from that tank codex. Like I said, the increased block is nice there. It's just very limited usage. He's not somebody that you're going to see in GVG. There's really no place where his skill set can really be fully leveraged aside from that tank codex. So I just don't think that he is really an essential hero. In fact, my recommendation on the whole is that you should not be pulling period this weekend. Full stop. Don't pull anything. Do your 10 pull for your weeklies and then get out of there, because we're likely going to have more stuff coming down the pipeline in the coming weeks. I think the devs know that people do pull heavily on the 1+1. People have a hard time resisting that. They're trying to take a chunk of your summons before they release probably poisoners in the next week or two, or to try to gradually reduce the stockpiles that people do have prior to the anniversary event, which should be coming out in about a month and a half. So yeah, that's my recommendation to you. Don't pull any more than you have to. Just wait. If you are early game, pull on the 1+1, pull on the 2x. But don't waste your time with Glacius and Krodor. Neither of them is good enough any place in the game right now that you really need to be specifically looking for them. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. You disagree with me heavily? I know there are some Glacius fanboys out there. When I posted my damage breakdown of Glacius, there were some very upset people. They felt like I'd done Glacius dirty. So I know you guys are still out there. Let me know how that A5 Glacius is treating you. I did not pull for him. I will not be doing so now. I don't think anybody should. Just my 2 cents. I appreciate you all tuning in. Please do click that thumbs up button. Please do subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference to me. It really means a lot when you guys do support my channel that way. So thank you if that is something you can do. Otherwise, good luck if you are summoning. You should. But if you are, I hope you get what you want. I will catch you all next time.